Welcome to the Surveyor's Desk and the 5-minute surveying terms and definitions page. Let's get started with today's term. Today's surveying term is azimuth. So what is an azimuth? How do you recognize it? And finally, where would you expect to use it in land surveying? After today's video, you'll be able to walk away with confidence knowing what azimuth means. Let's start with the definition. In surveying, an azimuth is the horizontal angle, measured clockwise from a reference direction, typically north, to the line or object being observed. In simple terms, it's a way of expressing direction as a full circle value and is expressed in degrees between 0 and 360, where 0 typically represents north. What does that look like? Using the compass as our guide, 0 degrees would represent north, 90 degrees would represent east, 180 would be south, and 270 would be west. Let's look at a couple of examples to help bring this home. In our first example, say you're given an azimuth of 150 degrees, and you're asked to draw this out. What does that look like? Beginning at the north arrow line on our compass, we start moving around the compass clockwise until we get to the position that corresponds to 150 degrees. Recall from the previous slide that 90 degrees corresponds to east and 180 degrees corresponds to south. So logically 150 degrees will fall some between these two cardinal directions, as shown here. In our second example, say you're given a compass that has a direction line drawn as shown here, and you're asked to provide the azimuth. Similar to our first example, begin at the north arrow line on our compass, and start moving around the compass clockwise, taking note of the last cardinal direction you pass until reaching the shown line. In this example, our line is past the south position, but does not extend past the west position. So we automatically know that our azimuth will be between 180 and 270 degrees. The line appears to be about halfway between south and west, so 180 degrees plus 45 degrees makes our azimuth equal to 225 degrees. So, where would you expect to find azimuth used in surveying in the real world? Here are 3 real-world examples of where you could expect an azimuth to show up. First is in GPS. Every GNSS receiver records direction using grid azimuths. When your rover records a shot, or computes a vector, that direction is stored as an azimuth. Second is in control work. The National Geodetic Survey, or NGS for short, datasheets, and primary azimuth marks, reference direction in azimuth form. These angles tie your local project back to other known surrounding benchmarks, as well as information to tie it into a national coordinate system. The third example is in descriptions. This could be in a property deed, an easement description, or some other governing document. The important point for the surveyor is to be sure to recognize if what they are reading is an azimuth, or a bearing. Bearings will be covered in another video. Finally, let's talk about what you would need to know about azimuths for the fundamentals and principles surveying exam. First is to know how to recognize the difference between an azimuth and a bearing direction. Second is how to graphically represent an azimuth. Know how to draw this out if given an azimuth. Third is knowing how to convert from a bearing to an azimuth, and vice versa. Thanks for watching this 5-minute terms and definition video on the Surveyor's Desk. If you have enjoyed this video and it has helped make azimuths a little clearer, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more surveying terms and definitions. And if there's a surveying term you'd like me to cover in a future video, be sure to leave it in the comments below.